How are you all doing today? It is yours truly, the one and only Brother Ricky, and I am happy, happy, happy to be here with all of you on P Stars Radio. Just a moment. Yes. Excuse me, sorry. But yes, I am happy to be here with all of you on P Stars Radio. The time is now 10:36 a.m. I did want to start this show off a bit early because I had you know uh, things that I had to take care of on a later matter. But same time as per usual, I'm here as always, and I'm glad to be here with all of you tuning into P Stars Radio. Now, I want to get right into this. There were some things that I kind of missed. Our last meetup, I did kind of miss a lot of things because I dived a little bit into a topic that had to do with the NBA in terms of the viewership and what the future would look like for the future of the NBA in terms of all the veterans leaving. So, I wanted to dig deep into that kind of conversation in our last meetup. But now this meetup, we're going to catch up with some few things that I did miss that I wanted to talk about today. Now, first things up is the NBA in-season tournament, or the other name for it is the NBA Emirates Cup tournament, has officially been concluded, okay? And it was concluded for past 2 weeks now, if I'm not mistaken. But we do have ourselves a championship team for this year's NBA in-season tournament, and the championship goes to the New York Knicks. Yes, the New York Knicks are your 2025 NBA in-season tournament champions, where they have defeated the San Antonio Spurs. Now, granted, there were a few things that I've learned about after the matchup between the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. It seemed to be the case where it wasn't a very good game, these weren't like stand-up performances from like both star players. For instance, Jalen Brunson didn't have a top performance game during that matchup, and so did Victor Wembanyama. He too did not have a very top performance game during that matchup as well. Now, for Victor Wembanyama, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for Victor Wembanyama not having a very good performance during that finals match between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. But again, nonetheless, I do want to give my congratulations to the New York Knicks for winning their first ever in-season tournament cup. But now for Victor Wembanyama, it does seem to be the case that the reason why he wasn't performing at his top best is sadly that his grandmother has passed away. Okay? He just learned around that time that his grandmother has passed away, which makes a lot of sense why he wasn't performing at his best, right? Because learning that you have somebody in your family who has passed away is going to hurt you very, very, very much so mentally and spiritually, right? To learn that your grandmother has passed away is not easy, right? And I do wish my condolences to Victor Wembanyama and his family as well. But it makes sense, right? It makes sense why he wasn't performing at his best. I don't know. I can't remember the exact stats for that specific game, but he wasn't shooting very efficiently during that matchup. Wasn't putting up a lot of scores, and now it makes sense why. It makes very much so a lot of sense why, because make no mistake, the San Antonio Spurs were performing at a very top level. They handed the OKC Thunder's second loss, literally their second loss, right before entering the in-season tournament cup. And just recently, they still keep giving OKC their L's. That just lets you know that the San Antonio Spurs are the OKC's kryptonite. Because for whatever reason, no other team can seem to beat the OKC except for the Spurs. Like, they figured out something. They figured out how to maneuver around the OKC Thunders what to do in terms of their defense and their offense to allow them to keep beating the OKC Thunders. Like no other team, at least to what I can see now, no other team is able to beat the OKC Thunders as efficiently as the San Antonio Spurs. And so yeah, man, they're on a roll here. And yeah, it's surprising me a little bit because I would have expected. I mean, granted, the match between the OKC Thunders, not the OKC Thunders, I'm sorry, the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs were a bit, it was a tug of war. It was a challenge, which is what I would have expected. Okay, but yeah, man, the Spurs did the best that they could. There's always a better luck next year. And again, my condolences to Victor Wembanyama and his family after losing his grandmother. But yeah, so those are your champions for the NBA in-season tournament cup for this year. And yeah, that's if I'm honest with you, I think my predictions before the in-season tournament cup was that the OKC Thunders would have probably won this. I think that was my prediction to begin with, right? Or at least I thought the OKC Thunders would have beaten the San Antonio Spurs. And boy, was I wrong. I was absolutely, expeditiously, atrociously wrong. Because, again, to this day, the Spurs still keeps handing the OKC the L every single time. They figured out the cheat code, y'all. They know exactly what to do to beat the OKC Thunders, where all the other teams just can't seem to figure out, all right? But that's what that is for the in-season tournament NBA Cup. And then I'm going to move on to the Jake Paul, okay? If for those of you who are living under a rock, okay? There's been a fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, which took place, where are we at right now? The 27th, so I believe last week, Friday, right? Last week, Friday, where Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul had their fight. And it's safe to say that Jake Paul definitely got humbled that day, or humbled that night. Humbled to the point where 2 places in his jaw were completely demolished. Okay, maybe not demolished, but broken. This man, Anthony Joshua, served Jake Paul the beats, okay? He served Jake Paul the beats to the point where, this man had to get hospitalized for both sides of his jaw being dismantled. Like, listen, everybody seems to be quite satisfied, okay? Quite satisfied with the knockout for Jake Paul. And I keep hearing a lot of people mentioning that the fight wasn't scripted, or that the fight was apparently supposed to be scripted, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, right? But this fight was definitely off script, okay? This fight was definitely off script to the point where, again, Anthony Joshua, bang, bang, served Jake Paul with one clean. This right here, okay? This side, this part of your chin here, or either side of your chin, is where you're going to go to sleep, okay? Either side right here is where you will be put to sleep. Now, for Jake Paul, he didn't necessarily go to sleep after getting that right here. He didn't necessarily go to sleep, but he did get put on his bottom, all right? And once the ref saw that, it was enough, all right? It was finished. The fight was over. Jake Paul lost, and he had to go home and take the L with him, all right? Now, I don't know. I keep seeing a lot of speculations. Of course, they are just speculations, so they may not be true. Rumors and speculations aren't always going to be true. But I do constantly keep hearing that that was the night that Jake Paul, quote-unquote, retired from boxing, if he ever even had a career to begin with. But he, again, the rumors are he's retiring from boxing after taking his L from Anthony Joshua. Now, again, rumors aren't always true, and speculations, again, aren't always true. But if it is true, then that is very, very tough, okay? Tough for your career to be ended on a note like that. Now, granted, you could definitely see the weight class differences, right? Anthony Joshua being the big, overweight, heavyweight guy that he is, going up against Jake Paul. Anybody or any sane person would have seen this from a mile away, right? Anybody would have seen this from a mile away, that Anthony Joshua would have put Jake Paul to sleep. Anybody would have seen this. Now, okay, with that being said, of course you had other people that thought that this could have been a very how can I say this? A head-to-head, toe-to-toe equal match, which I don't know why they would have ever thought that to begin with. But again, Anthony Joshua served Jake Paul the beat, all right? Handed Jake Paul his L. And, afterwards, I think Anthony Joshua called out Tyson Fury, okay? He definitely called out Tyson Fury after the matchup to step in the ring with him as well. And I, for one, listen, I don't know what's going on with Tyson Fury, because apparently Tyson Fury is constantly calling out Anthony Joshua, taunting him here and there. I don't know what that whole thing is like, but Anthony Joshua wants his turn with Tyson Fury on humbling him the same way he humbled Jake Paul. Now, if that fight is going to happen, I got to see this fight for sure, all right? I want to see this fight because I did not get to see the fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. I just got to see highlights, okay? The fight took place in Miami at the Miami Heat Stadium. And I want this fight to happen in the same place as well, because if it does, I am going to be there, okay? I'm definitely going to be there and seeing Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury go head-to-head and go toe-to-toe, all right? But that was the fight that happened, the boxing match that happened between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. So congrats, okay? Congrats to AJ in defeating Jake Paul. And I'm only interested in seeing what career path, okay? I'm interested in seeing what career path Jake Paul is going to take post losing to Anthony Joshua. I also seen as well on social media that Jake Paul might, again, this might be definitely untrue. This might definitely be just false. But I have seen on social media that Jake Paul would have been considering going into the WWE like his brother, Logan Paul. Now, again, do not quote me on this. These are just things that I'm seeing on social media, so it could be far from the truth, okay? Completely far from the truth. But if that is the case, all right, if that's the case and Jake Paul ends up joining the WWE with his brother, Logan Paul, then I don't know how to feel about that. It's been a while since I've watched the WWE, but already I'm hearing a lot of people don't like Logan Paul in the WWE as is, and so it's not going to be a very pleasant, pleasant news to hear that now both the Paul brothers are going to be joining the WWE. All right, so again, that's what I've been hearing. Don't know if it's true. Don't quote me on it, but if it is true, I myself don't know how to feel about it because I haven't been watching the WWE in oh so long, all right? So that's your boxing news for the day. Now, I did want to head into the NFL because, ladies and gentlemen, we are inching closer and closer to the playoffs and then ultimately to the Super Bowl, okay? Because we are now getting ready to make our exit from 2025 and step right into 2026, which I believe should be in January, the playoff month for the NFL. Now, I do want to give you our teams who have clinched a spot, all the teams who have clinched or secured their spots for the NFL playoffs. All right. So first up for the AFC, AFC West, East, and South, we have the Broncos who have secured their spot in the playoff. We also have the Patriots. We have the Jaguars. We have the Chargers. We have the Buffalo Bills. We have the Seahawks, Seattle Seahawks. We have the Chicago Bears. This team right here, the Chicago Bears, have definitely surprised me, man. With 11-4, oof, these guys are going off. And then we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who could potentially make their comeback, okay? This team could potentially make their comeback to the Super Bowl. Who knows, right? Who knows? But only time will tell. You also have, and this is your NFC here, the NFC West, North, East. Again, we have the Seattle Seahawks, the Chicago Bears. We have the Philadelphia Eagles, the San Francisco 49ers, the Rams. Rams are also another team going off. Crazy. We have the Rams, and then we also have the Green Bay Packers, who have secured their spots for, or clinched their spots, should I say, to the NFL playoffs. And then teams who are also looking to secure their spot as well are the Steelers. The Steelers are looking to secure their spot for the playoffs. We have the Panthers, and then we have the Texans. Three teams who are looking to find their place in the playoffs as well. And then Colts, the teams that are on the bubble. I started looking in the in-season ended today. Who are looking to find their spot in the playoffs as well. Who are again on the bubble are the Baltimore Ravens, the Colts, and the Buccaneers. Okay. The teams that are eliminated. Okay, we're gonna get into the teams who have been eliminated from the playoff contentions or the playoff selections are the Miami Dolphins, which I am very disappointed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. But the Miami Dolphins have gravely disappointed me. All right? It's atrocious. But the Vikings have also been eliminated from the playoffs. And then the Lions have been eliminated from the playoffs. And the Chiefs, my oh my, the Chiefs have also been eliminated from the playoffs. The Bengals have been eliminated. The Cowboys have also been eliminated. The Jets have been eliminated. The Falcons have been eliminated. The Saints, Titans, Browns, Commanders, the Raiders, the Cardinals, and the Giants have all been eliminated from playoff contentions from the NFL playoffs. All right. So again, the teams that have secured their spots, some of them I'm surprised with. Okay, the Bears are one of the teams I'm surprised with, and it's really just the Bears. It's really just the Bears that I'm surprised with who has secured their spot in the NFL playoffs. So we have till January where we will see all the mayhem and chaos unfold to see which of these teams will make it all the way to the NFL Super Bowl, all right? So, yeah, man. Y'all let me know. Let me know your predictions, your thoughts on who you think will ultimately advance to the Super Bowl. I'm going to put in my, listen, all right, I'm going to put in my predictions right now, all right? And my predictions might be way off. Actually, no, I think that's not safe. No, it's not safe. It's not safe. I'm not going to put in my predictions just yet. I'm going to at least wait, okay? I'm going to wait until the playoffs. When the playoffs come, then I'll put in my predictions for who I think will advance into the Super Bowl, because there's still some slots left. If I'm not mistaken, I think one more slot left. I think there's only space for one more team. One more team to uh, uh, secure their spot in the playoffs. I might be wrong here, but again, I think there's only spot for one other team left for the playoffs. But again, when the playoffs occur, okay, and teams are getting ready to match up against one another, then I will make my predictions for who I think will advance into the NFL Super Bowl. All right. So just stay tuned for that. Stay patient. Be patient, ladies and gentlemen. But I will give my predictions then. But hey, if you have your predictions now, if all of you have your predictions now for who you think will go to the Super Bowl, please, please do not fret. Please feel free to let me know what your predictions are on who you think will make it to the Super Bowl. And I believe this year's Super Bowl will be happening in San Francisco, the Bay Area. All right? So stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's what I have for you for today. Now, I did want to take this time here to just express how grateful I am. How grateful I am for another year being here with you on P Stars Radio. It's been a very, very pleasant year for me. It's been a great year on P Stars Radio. God has done so much for me, with the opportunity to be able to be here on P Stars with you, right? The opportunity to still be alive and breathing, because, listen, make no mistake, if you are here, count that as a blessing. Count that as a blessing. Si ou e ou la jodien, konen sa se yon beni liye, paske gen pil moun ki pa gen tan we, yo pa gen tan we jousa, mem ja avel. Gen pil moun ki gen tan moui deja. Alright? A lot of people have lost their lives within this year. But if you are still here, if you're still alive, and God was able to allow you to get through the entirety of 2025, then count that as a blessing. Because it is a huge, huge blessing for you to be here. It is a huge blessing for me to be here. And as we get ready to step into 2026, I'm still going to count myself blessed. Why? Because I know and I believe that God will continue to be with me throughout 2026. The same way that he was with me throughout 2025 is the same way that I believe that he will be with me throughout all of 2026. God has done so much for me. He's blessed me, blessed my family. And I sure know and believe that God has done the same for you and will continue to do the same for you. Okay? Because understand that it could have been worse. It could have been completely worse for you. But God has blessed you. Right? You're alive, breathing. I'm alive, breathing. So I count myself very much so blessed. And I'm thankful for everything that God has been able to do, or God has been doing for me throughout all of 2025 here on P Stars Radio, with all of you who are watching on YouTube, Facebook, right? TikTok, so on and so forth. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. Because these are opportunities that I could not have gotten from anyone else and from anywhere else. God has been able to do this for me. God and only God. And for that, I am very much so grateful for all that he's done for me right now. And not only right now, but I'm also grateful and thankful for what he is about to do for me in 2026. And I pray that you all have that same, that same faith in you as well, that same belief in you as well, that you too are also grateful for what God has done for you up until this point, and for what he is going to do for you in the year 2026. All right. So I am happy. I am Grateful, and it has been a pleasure being here with you all on P-Stars all throughout 2025, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the plans that God has in store for me right here on P-Stars Radio and further on into my future, into my life, my career, my goals, all those things. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for all the blessings that God has already put forth in my way, but not just for me, but also for you too, all right? I love you guys. I'm grateful for you all being here with me here on P-Stars Radio. I will see you all on Tuesday, all right? On Tuesday here on P-Stars Radio. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you then. Adios.